excited to be here. And I know Sam said you may have questions, so I am definitely not an expert in all things drinking. However, at one point in my life, I might have thought I was an expert in drinking. I am certainly not, but I will do my best to answer your questions. So when I originally signed up to do this talk, I thought we were all going to be in person, and I thought we were all going to be able to take a shot of tequila together. So if you're watching and you would like to have a drink, now's the time. Otherwise, I'll get you a shot when I see you next. So a little bit about me. I'm almost 33, and around the age of 27, I had some pretty serious health issues pop up in my life, which forced me to change my lifestyle dramatically. I had to change everything from my approach to my physical fitness, as well as what I was eating on a day-to-day basis. I had to shift how I was consuming what we will call toxins, mainly alcohol. And I spent about 6 to 9 months, almost a year, without drinking any. That was a choice that I made because I needed to reset my immune system. I needed to give all of my organs the opportunity to completely reset. I had a few operations done, and I'd had received some blood and had some difficulties. And so I learned a lot through that process about how important it is to not sabotage your health and to really take good care of yourself. And I'm an extremely social person. I would say that most things I do or get invited to, much like probably a lot of you, are centered around drinking. Weddings, even baby showers, birthday parties, any type of celebration. I mean, brunch, for instance. There's always an opportunity to have a mimosa, to go to a happy hour. And I realized that I needed to learn how to focus on my overall vitality without wrecking myself, without flashing back to those college days of drinking excessively day after day, or even drinking daily. But I also started to set new health and wellness goals. I wanted to be able to not achieve a certain weight and look a certain way, but I wanted to feel a certain way. And I realized, and I'm sure you can relate, that alcohol has a lot to do with how you feel, because you don't always wake up feeling amazing the next morning. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is just intentional detoxing, living your journey, living your wellness journey, and doing it true to yourself. Some people may say that alcohol is the best way to wreck yourself, but I think you can check yourself before you wreck yourself. So a few things that we're going to talk about. The key to maintaining your vitality and your social life, if drinking is a part of it, which I'm assuming you wouldn't be here if it wasn't, is to remember the word shots, just like taking a shot. So sleep, hydrate, off days, tolerance, and sugar. Shots. If you can remember those few things, you can definitely set yourself up for success when it comes to your drinking. Sleep is imperative. We're going to dive into that a little bit more later, but sleeping is important for all of your wellness, from your brain functionality to how your body moves throughout the day to having energy. Hydrating, there are so many things that water can cure. There are books on this, the many ailments that water can cure. So making sure you're getting lots of water is super important, especially if you're dehydrating yourself with sugars or carbohydrates that are really heavy in alcohol. Off days, like I said earlier, not drinking every day, taking multiple days. Sometimes I even take 30 days or 60 days where I don't drink. I can still go out and be social. I can still have a mocktail, all without having to explain myself. And if you do have to explain yourself, maybe reconsider the people that you're hanging out with. Just a little bit of life advice. Tolerance. In the T, I mean tolerance around your immune system. So oftentimes people think we build up a tolerance to alcohol, and last time I drank a bottle of wine and I didn't really feel like it affected me. So I had a bottle and a half this time. I don't mean that type of tolerance. I mean your immune system. Your immune system is completely depleted when you're drinking. And if you want to stay healthy and you want to keep your wellness goals forward, you need to think about your immune tolerance and really resetting and allowing your body to tap back into being healthy before you dive back into drinking day after day after day, or drink after drink after drink. So not just tolerance for the alcohol, but tolerance for your immune system. And then sugars. If you are thinking, what should I drink? Keep it lean. Sugar is your arch nemesis. A lot of people talk about things I don't like to say regularly, but beer belly or beer gut, or, in college we would say like the freshman 15. All of those things come from drinking drinks that are really heavy in empty calories, really high in sugars and carbohydrates. So just think about keeping it neat, keeping it simple. Find your simple drink and stick to that. So shots. If you remember nothing else, shots. Sleep, hydrate, off days, tolerance, and sugar. So diving into that a little bit, our fundamental ways to make drinking healthier and less painful the next day. Most important part right there, especially the oldest you get. Drinking water. I said we would dive into this a little more later. So water is always a good idea. It doesn't matter if you're planning to go out and drink, or if you're planning to just go to the gym, or you're planning to go to bed early. Drinking water is imperative for your vitality. It's the best way to help your body recover from excessive, like being excessively tired. It's the best way to recover any of the dehydration that you may feel after drinking. So just remember, when you're drinking, you can rotate water into your drinking cycle. So you can have a glass of wine while simultaneously drinking water. But also plan ahead a little bit. If you know you're going to a happy hour on Friday at 4 p.m., maybe you drink a little extra water during the day on Friday. And then when you wake up Saturday morning or whatever day it is, water is your go-to. Don't reach for the coffee. Don't reach for anything other than water. Put some water in your body and then start to shift your focus toward those healthier green drinks, juices and smoothies, low sugar drinks, so that you can start to rehydrate yourself. The second part of it is taking the time off. So minimally, I would say 2 to 3 days between your drinking sessions. Dosage makes the poison. If you are drinking daily, you're drinking in smaller portions. If you want to drink daily, I don't really tout that option, but I would suggest spreading it out. So 3 days minimum. Even during the quarantine, I've had a lot of friends say like, oh, I'm just drinking so much wine. I'm drinking so many White Claws. I've had so much to drink. And I feel like I've been drinking a little more, but I still go multiple days without drinking. And I know that is probably, just a societal norm or something we can all connect over right now. But really spreading out the number of times that you drink and the amount that you're drinking in each setting is the easiest way to maintain your vitality. Plus, you don't want to have to continuously reset your organs. Your liver and your kidneys are doing so much to support your body on a daily basis that if you're giving them extra toxins to have to process and weed out of your system, then you're just doing such a disservice to your overall health. What you can't see inside is the damage that alcohol does to our body. You can see it in your skin when you're dehydrated or when you're tired, but what you can't see is what's happening on the inside. So if you're looking for a good reason to take a few days off from drinking, think about what you can't see internally. Next, we'll dive into hangovers. So figure out how to beat a hangover. And when I say figure out how to beat a hangover, I want you to think about that as the hangover is the real setback. So oftentimes when we drink, we get the munchies, or we need that fourth meal. But when you wake up with a hangover, you go for the things that are comforting, right? So you start to reach for the greasy foods, or the sugary drinks, or the coffees that are dehydrating you. I want you to think about skipping those things entirely. You've depleted your body the night before. Hopefully, you got some sleep. So you should figure out how to really, my puppy's really sad. She wants to come out and play. You should figure out how to really reset your body by using nutrient rich foods, staying away from the grease, staying away from more sugar, and allowing yourself to get vitamins and minerals, to hydrate, and to get back in touch with what your healthy habits were. So if you were eating a salad for lunch on Friday and you drank excessively, and on Saturday you eat a greasy cheeseburger and extra fries just to feel better, you've taken 2 steps back. Not that cheeseburgers and fries are bad, but just tap back into what your health goals are. And then think about what you can do to feel better. Maybe you should go for a walk, be in the sunshine. Stay away from NSAIDs, like things that are heavy on your system to for your liver or your kidneys to flush out again. Use holistic products like peppermint oil. You can put a drop in your hands and inhale it for support. You can also use lemon to help detox your body. And you can use ginger, just inhaling it for nausea or stomach pain. So if you think about the strain that your organs are receiving from processing the alcohol, and you want to be more gentle and kind to your body in your hangover, you'll eat healthy, you'll hydrate, you'll get moving, and you'll stay away from more toxins. So figure out what's your comfort food in a healthy way and gravitate toward that. Keeping it lean, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but use tonics, use water, use sugar-free or homemade mixers if you're drinking any kind of spirit. If you are a beer person, drink a light beer. Or have a spiked seltzer or a hard cider. Those still have a lot of sugar in them, but they're far less high in carbohydrates. When you are thinking about drinking wine, try an organic blend or a low sulfite wine. The sulfites are what make you have a higher hangover, and normally wines are pumped full of sugars. If you spin the glass, people talk about seeing the legs on the glass. So that's the amount of sugar that's attaching to that glass that's letting it pull down. I'm super cheap when it comes to drinking. I don't normally like to spend money on pointless things, especially not things that are going to harm me. But Trader Joe's has this label. It's an organic wine label. It's called Green Fin. These bottles of wine are sulfite free and organic, and they're only $4. They come in red, they come in white, they come in rosé. So pop over to Trader Joe's or any of your local places and try out an organic wine. See if that helps. On top of keeping it lean, sometimes drinking just a drink on the rocks or neat is a good option. Again, you can use those oils if you want. I use a lot of lime oil in my drinks when I'm making margaritas. They're low and they're less acidic, so they're not as hard on your teeth or your tummy, and you still get that really rich flavor. I also use citrus oil when I'm drinking gin because I like to take the pine out of it. I'm going really fast. I'm sorry. I get really excited. So the Hunger Games of drinking. I mentioned this earlier too. Getting those late night meal cravings. Don't let those munchies get you. Don't come home from wherever you are and think, I need to eat something, I'm going to feel better. Hydrate yourself or plan ahead. Maybe you have a healthy snack waiting for you. Don't go for the Oreos. Go for, celery and a little bit of peanut butter, or an apple and some peanut butter, something that has some nutrients in it, and maybe a little bit of fat to help you just process some of the sugar and the things that you've put into your body. But just remember that everything that you're putting into your body is impacting your health goals, and you are what you eat. So if you're choosing to come home and eat a bunch of fatty things after drinking, then that's probably going to be the result of wrecking your goals. So just think about how you can prepare for the times that you drink, and also know how you respond to drinking. I don't really munch whenever I drink. I just continue to have more wine, and I have to learn my limitations. So to each their own. Sleep. We talked about sleep earlier. Sleep is vital. I can't begin to tell you how many people I talk to on a daily basis when I'm doing some holistic lifestyle coaching. And they tell me all of their health goals, all of the things that they want to do and achieve, and how they want to feel. And my first question is, how is your sleep? So if you're staying out and you're having drinks until a late hour, you need to be able to recover, and you need to be able to rest. So the next night, plan some downtime. Give yourself the opportunity to sleep and to recover from whatever you deprived yourself of the nights before. And sometimes it takes 2 to 3 nights of 8+ hours of sleep to really recover and let your body bounce back from the depletion that it's experienced. So first and foremost, on not wrecking any of your health goals, whether it's drinking or eating or whatever it is, even on vacation, sleep is a priority, the top priority. Something that I feel like I have to mention when I thought about this, I wanted this to be interactive and an opportunity for all of us to drink together and have fun. And we're not really getting a chance to do that. But I think it goes without being said that your life is one of the most important things. It's your most treasured, perfect gift. And I really think that it's important to check yourself when you've been drinking, and remember to Uber everywhere. What is more important than your life when it comes to your vitality? So if you've been drinking, just let someone else drive, or Uber home, or in this instance, stay home. I think that's the most important thing above sleep. I'll retract my statement before. And then we talked about tolerance. So your immune system, when you're thinking about taking care of your whole body and your overall wellness, your immune system thrives from sleep. It thrives from hydration. It thrives from that balanced diet. It thrives from moderation. It thrives from consistency. When you're drinking, your immune system shuts down. So you're far more vulnerable and susceptible to illnesses or like threats like the common cold, germs and bacteria. And if you're feeling under the weather already, you have a cough, you're congested, your allergies are flared up, do yourself a favor and don't drink. It's the easiest way to bounce back. Keep yourself healthy. And then when you're healthy, have your drinks. But if you're focused on your health and your wellness and you're feeling ill, you don't want to drink on top of it. That's the quickest way to set yourself back from all of your gains. So just stay focused on the difference between what you want and what you need when it comes to your immune system and drinking alcohol. All right. So this would be the part where I would offer you all a shot again, a second shot. So if you want to have a second shot or crack open another bottle of wine, go ahead. I had a lot of people when I was talking about doing this at Advent ask me what drinks are good for you. Good for you. So I did a little research just to make sure I had these numbers accurate. Vodka has the lowest calories. It's around 100 calories per shot, and that's a 50 ml like double measure. So kind of a double shot. So your average vodka water, let's say, would have about 100 to 110 calories in it. The same roughly for whiskey, gin, and tequila. Something I love, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I drink a lot of tequila. It's pure agave tequila. I like Milagros just because I've been to the Milagro facility in Mexico and drink it right there. But tequila is an upper. It's the only alcohol that is an upper. So if you know that when you drink, you tend to get into a place or a mindset that isn't quite as positive, maybe think about what you're drinking and how that's affecting you. And if you like to drink and it's serving you well, maybe try and shift gears and find a tequila that you like. Put it with some lime and enjoy a low calorie, low sugar upper for the evening, rather than giving yourself something that isn't good for your mental awareness. Beer, if you're going down the beer route, I personally don't drink beer because gluten and bloating are a real thing in the world for most females, but me exceptionally. Beer, pale ales and lagers are high in calories. Wine is lower in calories, but sugar is fat ultimately, in a layman's way of saying it. And it doesn't really matter if you're drinking beer or wine. There is sugar in both. So there's around 7 to 8 calories per gram. So alcohol contains the same calories as pure fat. So just think about it. If you're having 7 to 8 grams per serving of beer, you're getting the same amount of the calories and fat. So wine versus beer, again, that whole beer belly thing, I don't really believe it. I think it's the sugar. I think it's the amount that people are drinking. I think it's the lifestyle that surrounds it. The more you drink, the less active you tend to be. Unless, right now in my neighborhood, everyone's like walking 5 miles a day with a wine glass, which I'm like, that seems right. So just think about how much you're consuming in relation to what your goals are. So a few of my favorite concoctions. I already said it once, but mimosas. A glass of champagne, a champagne flute itself is about 110 calories. I very rarely like real orange juice in my mimosa. I'll ask for an orange slice and squeeze the orange slice in there. That way I know I'm getting the natural fruit, no added sugar, and I don't really like a lot of orange juice. I like the champagne. So that's my go-to. White Claws, it's like a gift. It was like someone wrapped a beautiful gift and gave it to all of us. Low sugar, low calorie, perfect summer drink. It's spiked water. I think it's great if you like making drinks or making a mixer. You could make a White Claw with a low sugar juice if you wanted something that had a little more flavor or a little bit of sparkle to it. White Claws, Trulies, all of those things, they're great options. And now there are so many local breweries in the Charlotte area and all around that have their own version of these. I know Catawba Brewing has one, and it's amazing. So check those out if you haven't yet. Another option would be vodka water. Like I said, I add lime and citrus to some of my drinks, gin and tonic with the orange, vodka water with the lime. Organic sulfite-free wines tend to be where I gravitate toward the most. Can open a bottle of wine tonight and have a little tonight, wait a day and have another glass the next day. I also drink a lot of homemade margaritas and mojitos. I like to grow herbs. So I'll get fresh limes and mint, and I'll use the pure agave tequila and kind of mull up my own and enjoy a cocktail that way. I very rarely use store-bought mixers or any kind of juice whenever I'm drinking at home. When you're out and about, oftentimes you can ask bars what types of mixers they have. And a lot of places now have skinny options or sugar-free options on their menu. So don't be afraid to ask questions whenever you're ordering a drink. And don't be afraid to jazz up your drink and make it work for you. That's what our restaurants and our servers are there to do, is to make us happy as customers. So be as difficult as you want. Again, I said I don't really drink beer. I know that's like, ugh, but I do love a good juicy J. I'll tell you that. I love a good juicy J. Um, that's pretty much what I've got. I was really hoping to take some shots with you guys and hang out and have a little happy hour, but that's my 411, the rundown. I think the last thing I would add is just to remember that your wellness goals are a lifestyle. And when you think about your overall vitality, I want you to give yourself some grace. You know, like you're going to want to go and have drinks. You're going to want to spend time with family and friends. And it's a part of our culture that alcohol is around that. And if alcohol is something that you can use in your life without it creating any pain or trauma for yourself or the people in your life, just do it in moderation, and don't be afraid to allow yourself to have fun and not stress over what damage you're doing, because being happy is so important in your vitality. And I don't really think that it's possible to wreck your goals if you're being true to yourself and being happy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kayla.
Thank
We
you.
just have 2 questions. I know we're almost out of time. But first, you mentioned some about like healthier drinks that you can create yourself, and then also ways to take care of your body afterwards. Do you have any suggestions on how folks can prepare before a night of drinking?
Yeah, so if you're into juicing, or you are a juicer, or you make smoothies, I literally will buy a juice and or make a smoothie the night before, or like the evening before I go out, and just put it in my refrigerator, because the chances are, after drinking a bottle of wine, realistically, I'm not going to want to get up and make myself that juice or that smoothie.
Sure.
You can always freeze those kinds of things and let them thaw overnight in your refrigerator as well. But just, you know, a lot of people who are centered around their wellness goals are used to prepping. So just making those things in advance and setting yourself up to reach into the refrigerator for that, rather than reaching in there for leftover chicken tenders.
That makes sense. And then, do you have a favorite bar or brewery in Charlotte that you're really missing and are looking forward to going and enjoying a drink at once for a
Oh
week?
man, so many. This is a really painful question for me to answer, because not only am I missing everything in Charlotte, I relocated to Raleigh right before the stay-at-home mandate was put in place. So I miss everything about Charlotte right now.
Oh,
But I really, really, really miss going to Fern and Kid Cashew for mimosas. I love brunch at both places. I love my friends at Lenny Boy Brewing. I love Catawba Brewery. And yeah, those are my people. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add real quick, Sam.
yeah.
Kombucha is a great alternative. If you're wanting to make mixed drinks, throw some kombucha in. And Lenny Boy has awesome kombucha always on tap. You can grab it for $1.
Nice. Well, thank you so much again, Kayla. And if folks want to connect with you further, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook, Kayla Moose. You can find me on Instagram, Kayla Loves Yoga. And if you're an Advent member, you can find me on the Advent member directory. And when the world resumes, I will be back in Charlotte 1 to 2 days a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, probably.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much to everyone watching, whether you're on Zoom or Facebook Live. Advent Member Talks is a weekly event that we hold every Tuesday from 4:30 to 5 p.m., featuring a different member. So please keep a lookout for our speaker for next week, and we look forward to seeing you then. I hope you all have a great evening. Bye all.
Thank you. Cheers.